Let's talk about Halo Reach. It was just announced recently that Halo Reach is coming to the MCC, and I couldn't be happier. 4K HDR 60 frames per second, the way Reach should have been able to be played a lot earlier. I think a Reach remaster should have launched with the Xbox One X. I think that should have just been a thing. I think Reach should have been a part of the MCC at least 2 years after the MCC came out, and to me it's kind of sad that it's taken us almost 5 years to get Reach onto the MCC. But now I have no more reasons to complain unless they add Reach to PC with an FOV slider and then add it to the Xbox One without an FOV slider. Then I will have a bitch fit. Now, I like Halo Reach for what I consider to be the best reason anybody can like a video game. I just do. I honestly didn't grow up with it. I wasn't convinced to like it. I just remember seeing the trailers for it, playing it at my friend's house, reading all of the stuff about it. I remember collecting the action figures, finally owning it myself. And it's not a nostalgia thing. When I look back on Halo Reach, I don't think of like the old days. I just think of the game. I just love the aesthetic and the tone of Halo Reach. Now for the gameplay here, it's just going to be this campaign level, one of my absolute fucking favorite levels in the game. But of course the multiplayer was one of my favorites, and I love Firefight. But look at just the way the Spartans look in Halo Reach. They're so gritty and believable. It's a far cry from what we have now in Halo games, where Spartans kind of look like this. I don't want to throw around the word relatable, but that's what comes to mind when I look at these Spartans. It looks like armor that could actually exist, and it's not something that's so sci-fi that it's not relatable at all. In fact, Halo CE Master Chief is my favorite version of Master Chief because he just looks like he's in a suit of armor. He doesn't look like he is a suit of armor. At a certain point, you just make your characters look like cyborgs or like robots because it's so skin tight and it just looks too good. And I like that these Spartans in Halo Reach and Master Chief in Combat Evolved kind of have that clunky, very practical look. Reach's art style is probably top 10 in all of my fiction. You thought I was gonna say video games, but I mean fiction. Halo Reach's art design, music design, its entire presentation just screams dread and despair and a nice tinge of badassery, like any movie about Stalingrad. There's something about a threat that you just can't deal with. That's such a great concept. Now, if you've never played Reach before, then maybe skip like 50 seconds past what I'm about to say here. So, just letting you know, but the game's been out since 2010. I imagine it'll be fine. The best example of this is this scene fucking here. You lower the shields on this tower, and you're like, okay, we're gonna fire some MAC rounds out at this thing, right?
Get us out of here. Control, this is Noble 1. Spire 1 is green and you're free to engage. Have a nice day.
Copy that, Noble 1. Be advised, all ground units. Frigate 318 Heavy is inbound, and MAC rounds have been authorized.
MAC rounds? In atmosphere?
I'm gonna fire fucking MAC rounds, and the Spartans are like, whoa, you're gonna fire MAC rounds in orbit? And they're like, yeah, that'll teach them a lesson, that'll send a message. And then after the fucking UNSC ship fires MAC rounds, it just gets fucking glassed right down the goddamn middle.
New contact, high tonnage.
No, somebody tell me this ain't happening.
UNSC Frigate Grafton, do you copy?
Grafton is dust. We need to get out of here now.
Slight spoiler, I know. It's such a fucking cool scene because it's the best way to describe the tone of Halo Reach. This will show them, and we're fucked. And the other Halo games have this type of vibe as well, but Master Chief is such an immovable badass throughout Halos 1 through 5, and well, maybe not as much in 5, but he's so badass that it's a little bit hard to relate to him, and that's fine because you're supposed to kind of feel like a badass. Whereas in Halo Reach, it just feels like you're a badass, but the stakes are higher. You're not as strong, your armor isn't as cool, your weaponry, whereas in some cases might seem more advanced, but for the most part, you're kinda just fucked. And that's Halo Reach's story in a nutshell. You're kinda just fucked. When you do something badass in Halo 1 through 3, or even 4 and 5, it doesn't feel quite as badass as in Reach, because in Reach you're outnumbered, outgunned, and constantly surprised about how awesome the enemies are. The tone is so different. You're the underdog here. Yeah, Noble 6 is hyper lethal, and I like that you can really make Noble 6 whoever you want them to be. It's just a fucking Spartan. But Noble isn't completely faceless. They have a voice, they have a little bit of personality that shows through here and there, but for the most part, it's supposed to be you. You are Noble 6. And hyper lethal rating or not, you're outgunned, and I love that feeling throughout the game. Last little gush about the campaign in this game. You are on your home planet. This is your planet, where you should feel safe, where you should feel comfortable, and it constantly feels like you're behind enemy lines. It's like a Stalingrad story. It's so great. Now, I don't have any multiplayer gameplay or firefight gameplay recorded, but I will briefly talk about them. I love them. There you go. I absolutely adore the multiplayer in Halo Reach. There's some things I would love to change, but for what it is, it's some of the most fun I can have in a Halo game. I love all of the mechanics, even some of the abilities, even they're a little annoying, some of them. I don't mind it. At the end of the day, I would rather play Reach's multiplayer over every other Halo's multiplayer. CE and 2 didn't age well, 3's a little bit clunky and a little bit floaty, 4 and 5 feel a little detached from what I like about Halo. That pop in the background was my chair. And Reach is such a great mix of a bunch of new and interesting kind of flashy, badass mechanics mixed with that old classic Halo feel. It's what I like about Halos 1 through 3 and what I like about even games like Halo 4 and 5. Halo Reach is the epitome in my mind of a modern classic. And the way I mean that is that the series embraces new ideas while maintaining what people liked about Halo. It doesn't fully follow the fair start type of mentality that a lot of people love from previous Halo games, where everybody has the same stuff at the start, because you can choose different abilities and certain game modes have certain classes, and when you play custom games you can have many different classes set up. But it's not like they tried to shoehorn in a create a class, create a loadout system like Halo 4 kind of tried to do. Now, I have nostalgia for Halo 1 through 3. Halo 1 was the first Halo game I beat. Halo 2 was the first game that really got me into the series. My friend had it over on his original Xbox and we would play that a lot. And then Halo 3 was like this big, mind-blowing thing when I was younger, because Halo 3 was just such a big deal. And someone in my neighborhood got an Xbox 360 and Halo 3, and he was the coolest kid on the block. And the game was the coolest game to ever come out in terms of all of gaming, at least to us at the time. Reach was just something that caught my eye. Despite seeing Halos 2, 1, and 3 first, and having way more experience with them, Reach always sticks out to me. And that's a bond that I have with very few games. Even my favorite video game franchise, Kingdom Hearts, a lot of the reason I like it is because it got me through tough times as a kid. I have that like emotional pull. When I think of Kingdom Hearts, I think of my childhood. I think of being alone in my room at 8 years old playing on my sister's PS2, and there's that. But with Halo Reach, as much as I love Kingdom Hearts so much more than just about anything, Reach is just a solid, it meshes with me experience. It just fits with what I like about Halo, FPS games, sci-fi, storytelling, music, visuals, and I'm so excited to see it coming to the MCC. And I will make a super fanboy video or maybe series of live streams if the Kingdom Hearts collection ever makes its way over to the Xbox, and if it doesn't, I will buy a PS4 for it. Now, before I end this video, there are some concerns that I have. First of all, I hope they don't add in Halo Reach like it's any other Halo game, and I hope it has its own separate, and this is such a almost no chance in hell, right? But I hope it has its own separate UI, menu system, progression, unlock system that's, specific to Halo Reach. People might be mad that Halo 1, 2, and 3 didn't get that as well. I have to say, tough titties. The MCC has been out since 2014. It is now 2019. They spent that much time ignoring Halo Reach and barely ever mentioning it. If they added in as just some multiplayer maps and modes and some campaign and firefight levels that you can select in the MCC menu, I'll be a little bit disappointed. I want to be able to unlock armor sets and customize my Spartan in that classic UI. I don't really want it to be like part of the MCC as much as I want it to be in the MCC, but when I load up Halo Reach within the MCC, I want a whole new menu, a whole new system. I want it to be Reach remastered. That's kind of a tall order, and I'll be okay if it doesn't happen, but I will be bummed out if it does what Halo 4 and 3 and 2 and all of those games, if it comes out that way where it's just, oh, if you want to play Halo 2, join the Halo 2 playlist. Okay, you're out of there. Like, I'll be kind of pissed off. I will be mad if it doesn't have an FOV slider because I know that Halo Reach on PC is going to have one. They've already confirmed that, and I'll be a little bit mad if it doesn't come to console, because one of the other things that holds back that game, other than its old low resolution and 30 FPS on the original 360 version, what you're seeing right here, what holds it back is also that kind of cramped FOV feeling, and I would love to see Halo Reach with an expanded FOV. I don't think that should just be for PC players, especially since like Halo is kind of an Xbox thing. It's been an Xbox thing for a very long time, and it'd be kind of weird if suddenly Xbox wasn't the best place to play Halo. PC players can already play it in ultra wide, 240 frames per second at whatever resolution their monitors their monitor supports, and it's already going to be cooler for PC players from a hardware level. But I think FOV changing is a nice feature. It's not just like a hardware thing, it's a feature, and it should be in with Halo Reach when it comes to the MCC on the Xbox. And my last thing is I want it to feel the same. Obviously the FOV would change that a little bit, but I want it to have the same control feel. I love the entire process of aiming and shooting and running around in Halo Reach, and I hope that the remaster, the MCC version, captures that. I don't want it to feel weird. I don't want it to have a host of new problems that weren't even in the original game. The MCC and the way 343's handled it hasn't really instilled a ton of confidence with me. So either way, I just hope it goes over smoothly. I can't wait to play it and live stream it, put it in the background of gameplay. I don't know when it's coming out, but when it does, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be staying up late. I'm gonna buy snacks. I'm gonna order pizza and snacks and drinks, and I'm gonna have a fucking Reach day when that game comes out. I like it that much, and if you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you when I see you. Goodbye.